Hello, my name is Mary Coupland and welcome to The Road Ahead. Through a series of guests, we're going to help you navigate your own road ahead as you age. We will help you and your aging parents prepare for your journeys. Let's face it, who wants to find themselves in a crisis mode simply because they did not have access to information well in advance? As a publisher of Compass and Clock, we're going to help you achieve your best future. Today, our guest is Carly Tizzano of Masterpeace Organizing. Carly and her team help clients simplify and organize their homes and their offices. Through this process, it gives you a space that you can enjoy life more, and you can age in place successfully and safely. Carly, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm excited to talk about this topic because organizing and decluttering and transitioning is a really big trend out there right now to help folks. So I figured you would be the perfect expert to ask these questions of.
Well, thank you.
So why don't we just start off by briefly telling the viewers, what is an organizing process?
Absolutely. The organizing process is pretty simple across the board, and all organizers I know out there really recommend doing it this way. The first step is really to pull everything out of the space that you're organizing. So whether that's a drawer or a cupboard or your whole kitchen, the first step is really to pull everything out. And once you have everything out, then you're going to sort it by category. So if you're doing a pantry, that might look like putting all the baking stuff in one area and all the stuff for dinners in one area. If you eat a lot of pasta, like in my family, we might have a section just for noodles. So it really is flexible depending on you and your needs and your stage of life. So you're going to sort everything into category. Now once everything is sorted, then you can go through and start the decluttering process. So you want to wait and do that after you've sorted, because then you already have a scope of how much of something you have. You don't want
you'll see duplicates at that point,
Exactly.
and maybe triplicates that you might not need.
Exactly. You don't want to start chucking stuff ahead of time, though, because then you're not going to end up kind of with the end goal that you really want. So when I can see that, wow, I have 20 boxes of macaroni and cheese, then I can assess, am I going to eat all 20 boxes of this, or should I get rid of some? Should I donate some maybe to people who would need it more than I would? Or in my bathroom, maybe, wow, I have 20 moisturizers. Do I really need this many? Instead of saying, oh, I think I have a lot of this, and throwing a couple and realizing I don't have any left. So you want to sort, and then you want to downsize and declutter the things that you have sorted. You're also then going to be able to see, well, I really only want to dedicate this much space in my pantry to baking, because I want to cut back on baking, I want to eat less sugar. So that's also going to help you determine, when you realize you actually have a whole countertop full, that's going to help you determine how much you want to save and how much you want to
Right, if the space is only this big, only that much can fit in it.
Exactly.
So first you take everything out and organize it. What would be your next step? What's your first step to the organizing process that you would suggest?
Yeah, so after we've gone through and we've gotten rid of the stuff we decided we no longer need, that we don't want anymore, then we've decided how much we want to save, and that's when we're going to kind of start introducing products. Most people already have a lot of organizing products, but that's what's going to help us create boundaries. So I might decide all of this baking stuff I'm going to put in this basket. So when I buy more baking stuff, I know it goes in this basket. So when I buy it, I know exactly where it goes, and I'm not going to buy any more that's going to fit in this basket, because that's how much I've decided I want to have in my life. And if I have more than that, I know I have too much baking stuff and I'm probably eating too many chocolate chip cookies. So it's along that line. And then, so once we have everything there, then we establish the system. So maybe we have a lot of baking stuff in this basket, but we also have some flour canisters. So the system would be, when we come home from the grocery store and we have baking stuff, we know that the cake mix and the chocolate chips, they go in the basket, and we need to get in the habit of putting the flour in our nice little canister to keep it safe so it lasts longer. So that's the system that we establish along with our organizing. And that's what's going to keep all of the organizing you're doing to stick around for the long term.
Okay. So what would be the benefits, for instance, to a senior for organizing and decluttering?
I think there are a lot of benefits to everyone for organizing and decluttering, but for seniors, it's really going to be about accessibility and safety. I think those are two things that people really keep in mind as they're starting to age in their home. So if baking is a real big part of your life, then you're going to want that to be easily accessible. You're not going to want to have it up on the top shelf, and you're not going to want to have it scattered all across your kitchen. You're going to want to have it somewhere where you know where it is and where you can access it easily. So that goes for everything. It also can help you decide that maybe you no longer want to buy the big jug of detergent because that's getting a little hard for you to drag down off of the top shelf. So either you need to put it in a more accessible place, or maybe we should switch to something like Tide Pods, or something that's a little easier to access for you, and something that's going to fit in with your routine a little easier and not going to risk your health.
And one of the things that you said when you were talking about, for instance, the flour canister, we should be keeping in mind with these products that we're purchasing and using for this organizational process, that they need to have a long shelf life, so to speak. So right now it might be easy to open it up, untwist it, but if I get arthritis, is that going to be difficult for me?
Yeah,
so we need to keep those types of things in mind. Okay.
Absolutely.
So how would you recommend to somebody how they can organize to help age in place?
Well, I think the first step is to kind of go through those different steps that we outlined. That's what's going to help you organize any space. But particularly as you age in place, you're wanting to keep those things in mind, like accessibility and safety. So that's going to be your focus. Everything you do, you're going to approach that way. So maybe you have a hard time reaching stuff off of high shelves. So as you go into the organizing process, your goal might be to get everything you need in the lower cabinets of your kitchen to make it easier to access. Or you really don't want to use maybe the cupboard under your bathroom sink because you have a hard time getting in there. So that's totally possible. You can no longer use the cabinet under your bathroom sink. You're probably just going to have to get rid of a lot more stuff then, or same as you would if you only use the bottom cabinets in your kitchen. So it's just going into it with that mindset of what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your space, and what's going to work for the direction that you're heading. Same with garages. A lot of people have garages, and a lot of people have a lot of stuff in their garages.
My husband.
Oh, trust me,
Sorry,
I know.
honey.
And so you have to decide how much of this is stuff that you want to carry forward in your future. Because stuff not only takes up our space in our homes, it also takes up mental space. So especially for these people as they're moving forward towards retirement and to aging in place, they have to decide if this is stuff that they want to carry with them into the future. They might have a whole wall of camping gear in their garage, but is camping something they want to be part of their future? It very well might be, but it's something that they need to decide, make a decision. And if it's not, it's okay to let that go to kids or to Goodwill or someone else who's going to use it if you know that's not going to be part of your aging in place.
Well, also, as you're saying, camping gear, you might have camping gear that was for a family of 5.
Exactly.
And now the kids have left the nest, so you reach out to the kids. Do you want your camping gear? And if they don't, then you donate it or sell it, and you downsize the amount of camping gear you have for just you and your loved one.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the nice thing about organizing is it really is totally flexible to you and your situation. I know couples who they keep 2 plates and 2 forks and 2 cups, and because that's all that they need. They're only ever going to cook for 2 people. They really don't have people over. If they want to meet people for dinner, they'll go out. And so that's okay. That's just how they've decided to optimize their kitchen, and they just don't need that much else because they're not going to be cooking at home that much. And when they are, it's just for 2 people. So you really can make it whatever you want it to be. And if camping is in your future, then by all means save it, but make sure that what you have is going to work for you in the future.
Good tip. So let's talk about the scenario with a couple that is getting on in years, and they're in the big family home, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2 stories, and they decide that they want to downsize. They're either going to move to a smaller home or an apartment or condo or even into a senior housing community. What would you recommend? What would be the downsizing process for somebody that wants to move?
Absolutely. Well, the first is to kind of decide how big of a leap that's going to be. If you're going from 3 bedrooms to 1 bedroom, you have to kind of approach it with realistic expectations. You're not going to be able to bring 3 bedroom sets with you to a 1-bedroom house.
No.
So once you've made that decision of this is the move we're committed to making, you just kind of backtrack from there. So if you're going from a large kitchen that has tons of cabinet space to something with maybe 1 little island, you're not going to have nearly as much storage. So what are those things? Maybe you're not going to eat out anymore. Maybe you're going to eat out with the people at your retirement community. Maybe there are meals provided. So maybe you really only need 2 plates and 2 forks for the times that you do have your little treat at home.
Right.
And then kind of going there to the other areas. How many clothes are you going to be able to fit in that closet? How many clothes are you really going to want and need when you're maybe not going out as much? Maybe you don't need as many coats because you're not going to be outside as much. How much outdoor gear are you going to need? Probably none if you're moving into this retirement community because you're probably not going to have a garage to store all of that stuff. And I think the hardest part for lots of people is kind of the memorabilia stuff, the stuff that has a lot of emotional value to them. And this is a great time to bring other people alongside you, friends and family members, and maybe to get a sense of the things in your house that they love, that they want to incorporate into their home and their life. And you can pass it along to them instead of it going to them maybe years later when you're no longer around. You get the joy of giving it to them as they walk with you through this journey.
Nice. It's a gift. There was something that you just said, and it made me want to ask you this question. So somebody's downsizing, and their clothes. I'm assuming that you have knowledge, and other experts as yourself have knowledge that, well, maybe in the bedroom then we'll get a new bed that has storage underneath, and if the closet only fits one season's worth of clothes, the other season can be packed up like in vacuum sealed containers or bags that can be stored under your bed in a nice dry environment.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing how inventive people can get when they don't want to get rid of some of their clothes. And you can find ingenious storage solutions for just about anything. It's just about deciding your priorities. If you do want to bring all these clothes with you, then that's great, do it. I'm sure you can find a way to do it. But if you really don't think you need all of those, then it's okay to let some of that go and just take forward with you the things that you know you need and know you love.
So it's good to know, though, that you don't have to give up all the clothes. You just need to be working with somebody that can help you bring them with you.
Absolutely.
And don't let a small closet deter you from that space if you love everything else about the space,
Exactly,
because you
it's
can
true.
figure out what to do with the clothes.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time. So the one thing that I would love you to wrap up with us on is, can family members help in this process?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I think everyone has a friend or family member that loves to organize and has that talent and that skill. So it's great to get them involved. I'm sure they would love to help. And like I said earlier, it's a great time to really bond and share your stories and your memories of things that matter a lot to you. And even if your family member doesn't want to bring that into their home, then they've been able to share that moment with you and hear your story. Something I tell clients a lot is you want to leave behind your story, not your stuff. So it's not about the things that you own, it's about the memories and the values and the stories behind those things, and that's what you really want to share. So that's why it's great to bring family on board, because it's not really about the clothes you have in your closet. It's about that time you went on your first date with your now husband. It's about that dress you wore when you brought your new baby home from the hospital. It's about that coat that you wore to your father's funeral. So it's about these things that have the stories behind them, and that's what why organizing is so fun, because you get to hear these stories and you get to have those memories, and just touching those things brings back so many memories.
That's powerful right now, because I know what that means. I was just given a sweater of a good friend that passed away, so that she lives on.
Absolutely.
So it's not stuff, it's memories, it's about people. Don't let a small closet deter you from making that move. Get help. Live safely in your space just by doing a little bit of organization.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Carly, for sharing your wisdom with us. And until next time, viewers, we'll catch you on the next Road Ahead episode. Thanks for spending some time with us today.